Hi, everybody. I'm here at lindsey-smith.io. I'm here today with Dark Nimbus. It is May 1st, a Friday, and I actually mentioned you on my most recent podcast episode. So I have manifested you to be here. It was a manifestation,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It was. I actually mentioned you, and I said that I saw a post you made on Facebook where you made like $8,000 from Facebook for content creation, and so I made a comment on my episode. I said, that's cool. I see that. I think I said I'd like to get him on the show. So here you are, and this is actually our second. This is actually our second encounter because you contacted me maybe a year ago or more. To work with you on a project, but I was busy at the time, so it didn't work out then. But, so here we are.
We are. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess we manifested each other. I noticed you because I seen you as a woman that didn't give a fuck, and that's very unusual.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm at a I don't give a fuck attitude right now in life. So
yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, I watched your story. You used to be a corporate slave.
Yeah.
And you had an epiphany.
Yeah.
And you got tired of playing the game and dealing with their bullshit and the corporate politics, and you went on your own way, and it was very stressful for you, and there was your awakening. And then I seen you, I listened to you like you were fighting with your parents at some point, and something your family was telling you, and you're like, fuck that, I know what I'm doing is right because I feel it in me.
Yeah, my dad told me he wanted me to work hard. He said I should be working hard, and I said, it's not about working hard. That's not, life isn't about working hard.
No, it's not. No.
Yes, I think that's the video you saw, right?
Yeah, that's the brainwashing speaking to you through him that he has heard his entire life. That's part of his generational trauma that you're breaking, and he's trying to force you to go back into it because in his mind, he thinks that your safety and your future is at bay because you're not following the grain. But the thing is that what you want to do has nothing to do with what he wants because you're following a path that he never followed.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
And he doesn't understand that by projecting that on you, that he's actually preventing you from living out your path. He thinks that he's protecting you. And this is how brainwashed people are.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to say though, he's actually come a long ways. I can see him from where I'm at now. I can see where he lives. Like he's walking distance from me. So he's a big part of my life. And I love him very much. And he's actually come a long way. He's not like that anymore. He supports me.
That's good.
In what I do. Yeah.
That's good. That means you held on and you broke through those parameters there, those roadblocks in the way. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they're not able to do that. They actually have to let go of their parents because they become toxic and hostile. So that's very lucky for you.
I had to let go of one parent. There's one parent. My mom, I don't talk to my mom because of that reason. So you were right.
Well,
you're right. Again, you're right.
Yep.
You're right.
And you know what? I tell people this all the time. I tell them, I say, the price of power and individual fulfillment and freedom is loss. And if you're not willing to lose people, you can't fucking move ahead. And that's just the thing. You talk to both your parents and you figured out that one is going to be with you on the rest of this journey. The other one isn't. Moving on. You could have stayed where you're at and you're like, well, I really want my mom in my life still, so I'll still bend to the rules of this reality just to keep her in my life. And fuck that. If you ain't with me, you're gone. Gone. Just like that. Fucking gone. Goodbye. I don't care if you're my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, I left a fucking woman that I was with for 7 years. Just like that. Gone.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. I'm the main character of my story. Fuck them. Okay? Period.
There's a common theme that keeps happening in my life, and it's each time that I want to level up, I have to say goodbye to everything that I knew in that past state that I was in. You have to leave everything that you know and start new with everything if you want to level up and you want to do something different. Because how are you going to be different if everything's the same? If you keep everything the same, then nothing will be different. You know? Yes,
but there's a cardinal fear that you've been able to get over that most people aren't, is that when you look at the dark ocean of uncertainty, you jump in it. When other people, they stay on the shore. Yeah. And that's something that says something about you. Right.
I say to myself, let's see what happens. and then I jump.
Yeah, because if you don't go, what's going to happen is you're going to stay on the shore and you're going to die there. And how interesting is that? That's boring.
I know what's going to happen.
Boring.
Right. I know what's going to happen if I stay, but I don't know what's going to happen if I jump. So so that's
exactly.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely.
So I want to talk about you now.
Sure.
So
let's fucking talk about it.
You are a very interesting person. You have a lot going for you right now. You have found a lot of success. You seem like a very confident guy. You have a lot going for you right now. Can you tell me just a little bit about a few of your endeavors or what you're focused on right now?
Yes. I am focused on right now rebuilding the shells of my last, how should I say, battle with society. Originally, when I first came out with my Dark Nimbus brand and broke out through this process of self-discovery, it was going very well. I had 28 million views a month on Instagram alone with a small profile of only 7,000 followers. I was blowing up all over the internet, and then society came after me for being too free, in fact. And I had no idea. This was going to happen to me. I was running around, making love to women, not giving a fuck, making money off of everything that I fucking do, monetizing everything, and just giving people the finger and tell them to go fuck themselves. And this created a evolutionarily psychological envy within the hearts of so many people that I had entire cities who were after me, entire towns that were aware of me, people who were spreading rumors about me on Reddit and Facebook, individuals who were trying to dox me, swat me, people filing false police reports on me to try to get me arrested. At one point on one of the adventures with one of the chicks I was hanging out with, somebody swatted us. If you know what that is, swatting, it's like lying to the police and saying that there's something that's occurring that there's not. There was a huge amount of blowback from people who just couldn't deal with the fact that I walked away from the bullshit that they believed in and got everything that they were promised without playing the game that they were told to play. But now I'm back again with millions of fucking views, tens of millions of views across social media. I already have 34,000 followers on Facebook. I'm making money off of it. There's no way you could stop a person who wants to be free. So I have this mindset. I understand now that there are consequences for living free, and there are going to be people who are coming after my throat constantly. And now I'm dealing with just daily death threats and people waving weapons on camera saying that they're going to hunt me down and fucking kill me, like showing firearms and shit just because I'm just being myself and living. It's crazy, actually. And I think that this. Go ahead.
Do you have anything to say to these people? Like if you could say something to them, and have them hear you, what would you say to them?
They could go fuck themselves and they could come and kill me. Fuck them. I don't give a shit. It doesn't scare me. Like there was some guy on TikTok. He had a gun and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you on sight." And I'm just sitting there laughing. I'm like, "Cool, bro. Fucking come and kill me. Like I'm ready for it, right? I don't give a fuck." I'm not afraid of violence. The only violence I'm afraid of is violence that I can't handle. Right? Like if the government comes after me, that's obviously a level of violence I can't handle, which isn't going to happen because I don't fuck with the government. Okay.
Right.
I'm non-political. You listen to me and all shit. It's a trap. I don't want to get involved in that shit. But eventually there is somebody that's going to try to fucking kill me because they're just jealous. They're pissed off. And these men, they're sitting at home alone. They don't have any companionship with any women. They're alienated from society. They don't understand how they're trapped and how their own ego is trapping them. And they see me as a fucking enemy, as like a villain, and they want to kill me because they're envious and they're jealous. Instead of listening to my advice.
They want to be like you. And since they can't be like you, they'll just take you out. That's kind of like what the mentality is for most people, unfortunately.
It is. And I have to prepare for that. But luckily I'm a walking armory. So, I mean, if they want to fucking come, then fucking let them come. I don't give a fuck. I'm not afraid of that. Part of life is experiencing danger and understanding that there are going to be people that are going to form against you no matter what you do just by existing, especially when you shine bright and you don't give a fuck to the level that I give a fuck. There undoubtedly is going to be people that are going to come after me They've even harassed women that I was with and messaged them. And of course they would laugh and let me know. They'd be like, who's this fucking weirdo messaging me, telling me shit about you? I already know everything about you. And I'm like, I don't fucking know where these people are coming from. I'm fucking sorry. Right? It's fucking crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and like, the part of it too is that, these people could have what you have. They could follow in your footsteps, and they could learn from you instead of just envying you. I tell people this in my life. I have some people in my life who envy me, and instead they just, I tell them, you could learn from me. You could ask me questions and learn. And do this for yourself. You could achieve this for yourself. But I think people their entire lives have been programmed to think that they only can be a certain thing, and they can't actually get what they want, which everybody is capable of getting what they want. That's what Earth world is all about. It's getting what you want here. It's about coming here and being smart enough to achieve your goals and get what you want.
If you could overcome yourself, and the hardest thing is to overcome yourself, and obviously you have. Also, you have a impeccable smile that is genuine. You're always smiling. You're always laughing. You're never giving a fuck. Okay, and that's a real smile. There's a difference between a real smile and a fake smile. So you have a level of internal happiness, and it's beyond happiness. It's what I would call content. You are deeply at peace and truly content with yourself and who you are. And that is something that a lot of people cannot grasp, because they have not reached the level of consciousness and awareness required for them to know and understand themselves like you have. And they can't understand that. They're not on your level. And a lot of people, honestly, I don't think they ever will be. I think that some people are actually born to stay NPCs the rest of their life. And that's all they will ever be. They will just be cannon fodder for the system, and they chose to be that way. They could break out anytime they want, just like you said, if they want to, if they're willing to deal with the pain, if they're willing to deal with the fucking pain. Yeah, the effort. Yeah, the pain. Yeah, tremendous amount of pain. They don't want to give effort. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to give effort. And I see that with people who message me for my one-on-one coaching and shit. They'll be like, Nimbus, give me the answer. And I'm like, listen, I'm not here to give you an answer. I'm here to break your mind free from the paradigm that you're under. There is no answer. Anybody who's on the internet with a fucking Lamborghini telling you, like, I'm going to give you this course, bro, and you're going to make $1 million, they're lying to you. It's bullshit. Right. Because it's based on the person's perspective that takes the course. It's whether, their perspective can handle it. Right. Yes, exactly. And what I do with my course, and well, I don't have a course. What I do with my mentorship with people is I guide them on the path to discovering what works for them. And that's the problem with a lot of people. They're lost in a dark forest that's foggy, that they can't see. And there's many opportunities around them. They just can't identify them. And what I do is I pull the fog away by having them think differently. And then they grab onto the opportunity that's right for them through that process of self-discovery and individual fulfillment. That's how it works.
Absolutely. It's a discovery. You have to discover it for yourself. It's a quest. It's a quest.
It is a quest. It is a quest. And on that quest, I found a lot of different ways to make money online. And honestly, one of the biggest ways to make money online for me, on top of engineering, subcontracting, and having people do it for me, and selling and buying land and cash flowing it, was adult entertainment. Right. Okay. That's a huge thing for me right now. There's a lot of women in the adult entertainment industry who need help with their marketing. You could imagine the amount of flow to their inboxes they have, and the amount of funnels you have to build, and the marketing, and they're tired. They don't want to create all this content all day. So somebody to help them is a gold mine to them, and they'll be more than willing to pay you. And another thing, I've participated in a lot of videos too, on top of that. Right. Oh, okay. Which also caused a huge fucking ruckus. Like, you can imagine, there's this guy running around living free. He's making adult content with OnlyFans models. A lot of these guys, they'll look at me and they'll be like, your shit is fake, right? Your life is fake. And then,
like calling your dick fake, or like what you do is fake?
That's it. Well, that's the thing. How could it be fake if I'm pumping down some chick on fucking OnlyFans? Like, AI doesn't have. Like... Hey, yeah. This is the level of denial that they're in, and what the extent that they'll go to protect their ego. I know all about artificial intelligence, okay? And right now, artificial intelligence hasn't reached a level for me to recreate myself pumping down some chick in some porn video. And listen, the moment it does, I'll be a millionaire because I'll pump that shit out 24/7. Okay, but currently we don't have the ability to do that. But they'll be like, yo, this is fake. I'll be hanging out with some chick on the beach and she'll be laughing. They'll be like, this is AI, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand. Like what else do you want from me? You know? And I'll show them the money I'm making. I'm like, that's fake. Everything to them is fake because they have to protect their ego. They have to. They can't believe that I'm real. There's some people with the opinions I have and stuff like I'll be like, morality doesn't exist, society isn't real. They'll be like, you're a troll, you're lying, and I'm like, why would I lie?
You threaten who they are and what they believe. You threaten their beliefs by telling them that, and you know, anytime you threaten somebody's beliefs, they're going to come after you, and they're going to get hostile in some cases.
Yes, and it's fucking crazy. Or they'll say something like I'll be on a hiking trail laughing with some woman and she's obviously enjoying herself and we're having fun and we're having an adventure, and there'll be somebody in the comments that'll be like, call the cops, he's exploiting her or he kidnapped her or some shit like that. I'm like, holy fuck, man. Like your ego is so fucked. You want to draw the conclusion that I'm a villain and I'm like somehow kidnapping this girl and forcing her to smile and laugh in a 30-minute video. Like, that's some crazy shit that I'm pulling. If I pulled that off without getting arrested, I must be a fucking mastermind. Because where do I put all these women? Like, do I have them in the basement somewhere or some shit? Like, they're all just lined up and I take them out and I fucking film adventures with them and I'll be like, you better fucking smile, bitch. Or like, what the fuck? What is going on in these people's heads? I don't fucking get it. Right? Well, and then they're like, where are these women then? Where are they? And I'm like, they're off living their own lives free. I don't possess people like you do. Like,
right.
What do you like?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Well, you know, they want what you have, basically. And by focusing on you, they don't have to focus on themselves. You know, by focusing on what you're doing, they don't have to focus on their own shitty life and their desires.
Yes.
They're basically, you know, living through you in a negative way, which, you know, it happens. That's just human nature, I guess. You know, everything we're discussing now is just human nature. It's what it is.
It is human nature. And the irony of it is that even though they hate me and they talk shit about me, I'm still the best thing in their life. Isn't that funny?
And
I'm the best thing in their life.
And look at your content. They stare at your content and they probably get consumed by it. But they're unwilling to admit that they like it because they don't think that they can achieve it. That's the problem. Yes,
they do. Even though I look at them and I tell them that they can, I'll put my hand on their shoulder and look into their eyes and tell them that they can do it, and they'll just want to stab me if they could. A lot of these people, I know that they would drag me through the street and stab me to death if they could.
Have you ever had?
And it's fucking sick.
Have you ever had an unfavorable interaction with somebody out in public from social media?
Tons.
What kind of stuff happens?
The towns that I inhabited, the small towns that I inhabited across the United States in which I bought houses in, because when I started like flipping bank loans and upping my credit as a way to make money outside the system and buying houses and sitting on them, I would live in some of these towns for a significant amount of time until I flipped these houses and sold them. And I got so famous on the internet that people started to recognize me. And at first they would look at me and I would see them and I'd be like, this person is looking at me in a way to where their mind is juggling. They're trying to identify me. Then people started to put two and two together. Okay. And some people, they knew who I was. And then so I would be at the gym or something. And there would be this fucking dude that would stare at me with the stare of like that he could kill me if he could. And I'm like, this is one of these motherfuckers right there. This is it. It's happening. It's happening now. But the funny thing is that they would never confront me. They would never say anything. They would never do shit.
No.
Because
they don't have. They would say something too if they had a phone in their hand.
And then if they did do that, I would just turn it around on them and use it as content. I don't give a fuck. That's another thing. I've been able to use these people's fuel as more content. So at this current point in time, anything anybody does to talk shit about me, any rumor they spread, any lie they say, I'm just going to get it and I'm going to post it and be like, look at this guy and make more money off of it. Fuck him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck him.
Absolutely.
That's how I'll play their game. Fuck them. Yeah. And I mean, it's gotten extreme. Like there's been people, and I'm a cybersecurity expert, right? So none of these people could hide from me. right? So I have all these people all over the place all the time. They're sneaking around. They're in my Telegram chat. They're on my page. I see who they are. I can see their IP address. I could do some forensics and figure out who they are and where they live and all other stuff. And they think that I don't know, but I know. I'm a fucking cyber warfare expert that used to do contracts for the Department of Defense. Of course I know who these fucking people are, right? So a lot of them I catch. And then when I catch them and I'll like send them a message, I'll reveal to them who they are. And they'll be like, that's just their reaction, like, oh, fuck. And then they'll disappear.
You mean like if they have an alias name online?
Yeah. But and just by patterns, by recognizing patterns of how they act and how they behave and everything else and how they type and how they talk, I can see, I know who is who. I can identify, I can connect the dots. There's no such thing as being anonymous online. It doesn't exist. Not to a person like me.
It really doesn't. Not nowadays.
Yeah, it's
you used to be able to do that kind of shit, but not now. There's too many ways for people to know you. There's just too much going on.
Exactly. And all these motherfuckers, they started backing down after they realized I had that capability. And also another thing they tried is using like shame tactics or what is it? When somebody tries to degrade your character by putting you on a poster board, they tried that. They tried getting mobs of people sent after me. They tried everything. But the thing is when you're shameless, you can't be shamed. Like how is somebody gonna shame me if I'm shameless? If I say something and I own it, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna cancel me? They could delete my social media. I just come back every single fucking time. Like how many times have they got me banned? Countless times. I get better at it every time. I'm playing the game again, and I get millions of more followers. They can't fuck with me. You could take whatever I say. I'll never apologize. I'll never fucking apologize. Fuck them.
You can't hurt somebody who doesn't feel shame. I'm a shameless person. I don't feel shame.
Exactly.
Unless I do something intentionally that I know I'll feel shame for on my under my control. I don't
exactly.
You can't make me feel shame for a single fucking thing that I do. Not a single fucking thing. So
exactly.
That person is hard to knock down.
Yeah.
So I totally resonate with you on this. And until you are somebody who doesn't feel shame, you can't possibly know what we're talking about.
I never felt shame. It was never something to get rid of for me. Even in college, I remember the first time I realized that you had to break through that process.
Oh yeah, I used to be a drug addict. I was a heroin and meth addict. So
holy fuck.
Yeah. So I've died several times. I've overdosed and died several times. So
holy shit.
And drug addicts feel a ton of shame. Like that, they're filled with shame. That's why they're doing what they're doing, because of the shame. That's that brings me to a very interesting thing here, is that my older brother is a drug addict. Oh, okay.
He was a functional drug addict. He made a lot of money. He was on cocaine and all kinds of shit. And he's my rival. He's my biggest rival because he hates me with all his heart, because I'm the straight edge brother who chose a higher path, and father paid more attention to me than him. So step brother drama. You know what I'm saying?
I think maybe he sees
crazy.
it and you see it as a higher path, but I don't think it's a higher path. I think it's just a different path. I believe that so I'm going to tap on something here. You have something called a soul, and your soul is most likely a different version of your dad. Since you feel closer to your dad, you and your dad share the same soul frequency, and your brother most likely does not. And that's why he feels the way he feels. So this is an energetic thing beyond even what has happened to you and your brother and your dad. This is energetic. He's probably going to feel like this regardless. So I wouldn't say it's a higher path. And he's learned a lot of lessons that maybe you haven't learned because of being an addict. So
probably.
I learned so many lessons being an addict that I couldn't have learned otherwise. So I wouldn't say necessarily a higher path, just a different path. You two are different, and he feels the way he feels based on energetic laws that are there at the base, above anything else that has happened to you guys. That's how I see it.
I think you're 100% correct.
So
well, he's a step brother, and to make the situation worse, Um, I am the literal epitome of what is considered the destruction of his life, because my mom had an affair with his mother when his mother was married to my father, and out came I smiling.
Well, there you
And
go.
and my father considered me the hope of the family. And oh, this is destined. This is destined. Yeah. And I already told my father was fucking insane, but he's insane like me. He had this look in his fucking eyes where you felt like that if he looked at you in a certain way, that he had some kind of incredible dark energy, and he had this charisma and magnetism to him. And he was always surrounded by women, and very outgoing and charismatic and adventurous, and was all over the place, and just like I am. And he was a very fucking interesting individual. He jumped out of planes. He was a paratrooper. He did all kinds of shit. And one day when I was 12 years old, this was right before he died, because he's dead. He came up with a bunch of bloody rags. And I remember this. He put these bloody rags in front of me, and he's like, "Son, I need to tell you something, how important you are to me." And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because my father would always do weird shit that would just like shock me. He would go right past the fourth wall and right into my soul and look at me and really tell me what's up. And I'm just like sitting there at 12. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, "These are the bloody rags that I delivered you in. I saved them, and I want you to have them." I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, "You know what I did when you were born?" And I'm like, what happened, Dad? And he's like, "I rose you to the sky, and I asked the Lord of Darkness to turn you into an unfathomable monster that cannot be stopped, in which people will fear getting in the way of your path, and all will move out of your way." That's what I did. Do you understand? That's what I fucking did. And I'm like, yo, is my father crazy? Right? I wasn't sure at the time.
That's who you are, though. That's what you've grown into, I would say, right?
It is. And another interesting thing is, before my mother died, when she was on, my mom had brain cancer. She died a couple of years ago. And I remember the last time I saw her, and I walked away from her. I wasn't there for her death. I left her to die alone. Me and her had she was the breaking out person, like your mother is. Like, to trying to keep you know what I'm saying? And she looked at me. I remember she looked at me when I was looking at her, and she was dying of cancer. And she's like, "Who are you? You're not my son. You're a monster. Who are you? I don't know who you are anymore." And I looked at her, and I'm like, the prophecy has been fulfilled. This is it.
Did she feel the same about your father?
My father, she loved very deeply. And in her mind, she would always tell me that he didn't know how to love. But in the end, I knew it was her who was possessive and crazy. And she loved me just as much as she loved my father. Like, even when I would get girlfriends and shit, she would try to sabotage it and be like, "You're not taking my son away from me, you fucking whore." And I'm like, this is fucking weird. Why does my mom act like this? This is like how she was.
Behavior. My mom.
It is. It is.
Same shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fucking weird. And it was almost like she was trying to keep me demasculated or something, or hope that I would. And because she didn't want to see me become my father. That's what it was. You know what I mean? It's part of that. But with the death of her, it was a let-going process. Like, I felt relief when she died. I didn't feel sad. I felt relief. And a lot of people can't comprehend that.
It's going to be the same for me.
A lot of people can't comprehend that. When I finally got the call that she's gone, that was it. But then the most interesting thing in the world happened. The person who was in the room with her when she died, they said the last thing she did before she died was close the curtains, and she said, "That's the end of the play. The show is over." And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
I have my takes on what that means. Have you ever figured it out, what she meant by that?
Yes, there's a woman that I seen that mentioned the same thing. I don't know if she's alive anymore. This old woman, she's a spiritualist. I think her name is Darlene something. I forgot who she was. And she said, and I seen her on a TikTok video saying this. She goes, when you die at the end of your life, you're going to realize it's a big play. It was a big play. It was all a play. the entire time, and you got to choose your character, and you're gonna get to see behind the curtains, behind the scenes, that it was just a journey, and you decided how it went. It was all play. It was all show. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I keep seeing this pattern in very spiritually awakened people saying it's all journey, it's all play, it's all show. You'll see. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I actually believe
what was that?
I actually believe that we're virtual. I believe that we're in a simulated. It's a simulation, basically. That we're here to give consciousness the ability to experience life in the physical form. And it's basically a game, and we come here with checkpoints that we have to check. We have to go through the checkpoints and hit our checkpoints in the life. And it's basically we come here to have an experience. And when we die, it's like we wake up from a dream, and we're not here anymore, and it's all better. This belief that I recently have adopted, which is that we aren't actually real, that all like our world is tiny in comparison to the intelligence that controls us. Like there is this there's this massive intelligence that controls our world that I believe. That runs on maybe consciousness, electricity, energy, something like that. And we are just a tiny little portion of the big picture. It's a world. Earth is it's a world that you can go to and have an experience. That's what I believe we are.
The existential terror of that truth is something that I used to resist, but now I've accepted it, and I 100% agree with you. And I believe, because that's real, that there is a way to shatter this reality, to shatter this reality and take it over. Just because,
it can be hacked.
Yes, it can be hacked. And to which level it could be hacked, I think it's unlimited. I think it can be hacked to the point.
Exactly.
I believe, yes. And in order to start hacking it at the microcosm level, you have to first go through the process that you and I went through. After that, from there, the possibilities are endless. And Absolutely. This is why I'm big on things like genetic engineering and AI and transhumanism and all this other stuff, because I know that with the advancement of technology and the simultaneous conscious awakening of humans, that I in myself can become a living God capable of reshaping matter and time itself before me, and eventually reveal who the creators and players of this are. I think that we can get to them. We can eventually reach them and reach their level of power if we want to, but we haven't yet. And I think that is the ultimate end of where this is going, if it is allowed to continue to it, because where else would it go?
I keep asking myself that, what can be done? What can be done with the current state of things? What are the possibilities? And it's really that anything is possible.
Yes.
And I believe that there is a method and there is a technique that you can literally hack your life and create it to be exactly what you want it to be. Like if you want a red car to drive down the road tomorrow in front of your house, you can make it happen. You can manifest it, and you can exactly manifest a red car to drive down your road tomorrow. And by God, that red car will be driving down the road. That's kind of like the path that I'm on right now. I haven't figured out how to exactly manifest and get this shit done, but now that I know it's possible and I know what kind of environment we're in, I'm on that path now.
10 years ago, the me 10 years ago, if I watched this podcast and you say that, I would laugh at you and call you an idiot, but not anymore.
Right. I would probably laugh at myself and call myself an idiot, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're 39, right? You're 39?
38. But what does it matter? Sure, you just call me 40 by now. Fuck it.
Okay, so I'm 39. Yeah. When I told you my birthday was on May 28th, I'll be 40 May 28th.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So we're both millennials. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
yeah.
I have a belief that the years 33, 36, and 39 are portal years in your life. And you can go into those years one way and come out a completely different version of yourself. And that's what I have done in year 39. I went into this year not believing the earth is round and believing that we actually landed on the moon and believing all of these things. And now I'm going into my birthday, turning 40, and I'm a completely different version of myself, thinking with a completely different perspective, thinking completely different things. So you know, you telling me you would have laughed at me, I would have done the same thing. Back then.
I would have, but now I'm open to anything. Even when I look at speaking of the earth and the shape of it or whatever the fuck it is, now when I look at a map of the world, I don't even fucking trust it anymore.
No,
I don't know what's I don't know what's I don't know what's out there, and I haven't seen it, so I don't fucking know. And what's really been interesting to me lately is an infatuation of mine is what's in Antarctica. And
Right.
recently there was a guy, I don't know if you've seen this, but he was live streaming in Antarctica with the Starlink.
And didn't he get in trouble, or they killed him, or
they
something?
They confiscated it and told him to shut it off.
Yeah,
that he's not allowed to. And then I'm reading as to why they told him to do that. And they said, well, cybersecurity protocols, this and that. And I'm reading their cybersecurity protocols. And I'm like, this is bullshit. There was no real cyber threat of him streaming on this device. It wasn't connected to their network or anything. This was their bullshit excuse.
Wasn't he doing?
Because I'm a cyber professional.
He was trying to do charity or something.
Yeah, something like that. And he was just casually streaming in Antarctica, like, hey guys, I'm here in Antarctica. And everybody was like, fucking holy fuck, it's about time. You see it, like you see, they were encouraging him, like, you see those mountains over there? Go behind them, figure out let's see the truth. What the fuck is over there? We never seen this, right? And everything's a lie. I don't believe shit anymore. Unless I see it for myself, I don't believe it. I can't believe it.
I have that same mentality. I can remote view. So I remote viewed Earth, and I did that about a year and a half ago, or maybe a year. Actually, no, it was less than a year, because when I was last year, so I remote viewed Earth in the last year, and what I saw completely changed my perspective. Since I saw it with my own energy and my own experience. I believe it. So I'm with you. In order to believe something, I have to experience it myself. That's basically my mindset in life right now, and probably going forward.
So that's very interesting that you're already at the point like me to where you could consciously pull yourself to have an out of body experience, to view something in material reality as if you're there. And I know I could do that too, because I could close my eyes right now and envision myself walking around a room from childhood in a different place in a different time that no longer exists, and then open my eyes and I'm back to where you are right now. I just did it right now.
That's exactly
that's
exactly
fucking
what it is.
And I'm talking about in vivid detail in 3D. I am walking around this room as a child.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Engaging in actions that I didn't even engage in that timeline, and then coming right back to you. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I talked to people's souls for like 2.5 years. I would heal people. I would put my mask on, and I would go remote view, and I would remote view their soul. And their souls look different. They sometimes they're somebody from the past. Sometimes there's something that I've never seen before. I've seen a plant as somebody's soul, like an angry demonic plant. So I did all this remote viewing. So I learned that, when you see something and you experience something yourself, you believe it more. So that's where my beliefs come from, or my own experiences and remote viewing. And you could probably put a mask on if you got your energy right. You could probably put a mask on, and you could probably travel the whole world if you wanted to. If you're able to do what you just told me to do, you could probably go and see anything you want to see. The way I go in is I say, universe, show this to me. And then I'll start seeing it. The universe will show the image to me, or show the place to me.
Do you have the lucid dreaming, or are you able to freely move in your dreams like it's a video game yet?
I do THC, so I don't dream. And I'm actually perfectly fine with that, because I don't really like to dream. I would rather not dream. I remote view, so I can see things from my dreams in remote viewing. I'm
going to tell you. I'm going to tell you and the viewers a hack, because I know that you're also a business person like me. There's a hack in reality that I figured out through my dreams, and I figured this out by when I first started planning out my escape and my business infrastructure and my marketing and my funnels. There was one night where I fell asleep in front of my whiteboard because I was so tired. And in my dream, I woke up in front of the whiteboard and continued where I left off and continued to work in my sleep and remembered it and put the information on the whiteboard when I woke up. If that isn't a hack, a productivity hack, I don't know what is.
You know, I also believe that I believe that you have lived this life. You've lived this exact same life multiple times. I believe we live the same life multiple times. And with that, knowing that, I believe when shit like that happens, that's your energy from a past life giving you breadcrumbs in this life to make sure that you get to where you're going. So you know, something from a past experience or a past life have you had in your past life, that's exactly what happened. Maybe you got up on that whiteboard and you did write that in real life and it wasn't a dream, but in this life, you know, you didn't. So it needed to happen. So you were given that image and that experience so that you could get up and then put it on the whiteboard. Does that make sense?
That is a fucking spin that I would not have thought of myself. Someone that I was in a past life giving me information into the future that's important to carry on now to continue the journey of what I'm supposed to do. That's fucking wild.
From this same life
that is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Life more than once. So each time you live the life, you discover new things and things happen differently so that you can achieve whatever challenge it is you came here for this life. Because I think, you know, I think everybody has a challenge that they need to achieve in their lifetime, and they're going to relive that life until they achieve that challenge. And then each time you live that life, you get breadcrumbs from the past life. And I feel like that's probably what that was for you.
That's fucking existentially terrifying. The idea of the idea of reincarnation is so existentially terrifying to me. But I've been forced to accept that that's a possibility for this reality because I have to be open to all possibilities. But the idea of being born again and living different lives is fucking terrifying existentially. It's as existentially terrifying as waking up as a brain in a vat inside a cyborg body. You know what I'm saying?
I don't share the same thing. I don't share the same feelings with you about that. I'm perfectly fine with, I mean, you know, and also there are probably like thousands of versions of you out there. There are different versions of you out there right now walking around with your soul frequency. There are lots of different versions of us out there everywhere. You know, there are very few soul frequencies, I believe, that are used. And it's just basically different versions of the same frequency that comes out.
Do you know what? That's interesting then, right? Have you experienced the shadow visitors? Because I have a lot of experiences with them. Have you seen them?
Can you explain to me what you mean by that?
The first encounter with shadow people I had was a story that my mother told me when I was a child. She said that one day at 3 or 2 a.m. I was crying in my crib and she came out to see this shadow figure hovering over me and staring down at me with these glowing red eyes, and it looked at her and then it left. And then later on in life I had a similar experience where my father was visiting me, the same father that I was talking about before with the shit that he did, where I woke up to these extremely tall shadow entities with this what I felt at the time was terrifying levels of power that was beyond imagination, that was absolutely soul-crushing. And they were hovering around the bed when my father was visiting me. He was sleeping in the same bed next to me where we were in a cabin out on a vacation. And they were just hovering around me, staring at me. And they were tall as the roof was, 7 foot something tall. And they're glowing with dark energy and red eyes and just staring at me. And then later on throughout my life, they would continue to visit me in numerous forms, especially when I was really battling myself and dealing with alienation and people leaving me and bad things happening. They would appear before me as if they were observing me, right? And then at one moment, one of them finally talked to me because I summoned the strength to move without them paralyzing me. And then it came to me, and I looked at it and said, why don't you fucking say something? And it came right up to my face and said, what the fuck do you want me to say? And this is the experience I've had with these shadow entities. And if you research this, these shadow people, as you call them, all cultures around the world and everybody around the planet has experienced these entities. a lot of people. When I made a post about it, it went viral because there's so many people who have seen these things. But I feel a special connection with them. I'm no longer afraid of them like I was when I was a child. Do you understand?
You could probably draw energy from them. If you ever encounter them again, ask them if you can draw energy from them.
That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. Exactly what you said there. That's funny that you drew that conclusion.
They're here to assist you in some way, or they need your help to do something. I found a lot of times that's the case.
It's either that, or these shadow entities are versions of me in an alternate timeline, crossing timelines to give me a message of what I could become. Or they're ancestors of mine letting me know who I could become and demonstrating the type of power that I have, helping me feel it. And the funny thing is, I'm no longer terrified of the power that they show me as I was when I was a child, because I'm closer to the comfort of feeling their power.
More so not telling you what you can become, but telling you what you are. They're here to show you what you are, not what you can become. Does that make sense?
I think that's probably the most accurate conclusion that I've come to myself. And it's very interesting that you say that, because I had a very close friend close to me recently describe how he feels my energy, and he said that I feel like a black hole, like a black abyss sucking him in, and he says that it's terrifying to some people, but it's not terrifying to him. And that's why he's my friend. That's why he can appreciate me, because he feels it.
I agree with him that you have that energy, but I'm not. I don't feel. I know how to protect my energy, so I'm happy being friends with you. I appreciate your energy. I like your authenticity. You're authentic, and you have electric energy. Your magnetism is incredible.
But there's some people who are incredibly terrified of that, and the people who hate me, who have described me on the internet in these Reddit forums and Facebook posts where they warn others about me, they describe me as existentially terrifying.
Well, that's
what they just. And I've never done anything to them, but maybe I am. I don't know. And that's okay.
You threaten who they are and what they believe in some way.
And I'm okay with that, because I believe that in order for us to continue and ascend, we have to destroy everything that we've been told that's sacred. And I need to become the living embodiment of the acid that erodes at everything that I was told not to touch and not to question. It needs to dissipate. It needs to be wiped out of existence in order to reveal the truth.
Yeah. I would agree, but that's part of it, though. That I don't think it can be wiped out of existence. That it's part of the experience. It's part of it.
It is part of the experience, but I think also part of the experience is me forcefully kicking down people into the hole of the abyss where they sit with their own pain. And I do that to a lot of people on purpose when I encounter them. I purposely push them off the edge into the abyss where they have an existential crisis, where their mind tears apart, because I know they need it, and I leave them there as a test of their strength. I don't know whether they survive it or not, but I do that to a lot of people. Some people that I just encounter for a moment, I can see the things I say to them, their minds shattered. And I took that journey myself.
You're an activator. You activate people.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I stepped into the void voluntarily and gave myself to it and became nothing. Just like Charles Manson said, when you ask him who he is, he said, I'm nothing. I'm nobody. I'm a tramp, a bum, a hobo, a boxcar, and a jug of wine, and a straight razor if you get too close to me. He was right.
That's how I feel about myself too. That I'm not anybody. I'm just here. That's good. I share that same.
I got 2% battery left. I don't know if the universe willed it, but my phone is heating up like hot fire.
Okay. Well, we're almost at an hour. We have 6 minutes left. I can end this here.
Perfect.
Do you want to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, if they where they can find you, what social media? And your name?
Message me anywhere and everywhere. Just look up Dark Nimbus online and go into my Telegram channel. And my Telegram channel is where all the shit happens that I can't put on social media, because if I was as genuine as I am in my Telegram as on social media, I would be banned in a heartbeat. Because part of social media is tapping your genuineness.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm completely unchained. I'm unchained.
Authenticity.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it.
You and I are going to talk later, because there is something that we have to accomplish together.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I
agree. I'm in full agreement with you. Let's do that.
All right.
Okay.
I'll catch you later.
I'm going to end this now. Hold on one second. Let me end this.